Good morning. He said, she said. Today, the Senate speaks. In just hours, lawmakers will cast the vote of a lifetime to send Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court or send him home.
I am terrified.
Dr. Christine Blasey Ford testifying Brett Kavanaugh tried to rape her.
With what degree of certainty do you believe Brett Kavanaugh assaulted you?
100%.
The judge pushing back hard with tears and fury.
I'm innocent of this charge. This confirmation process has become a national disgrace.
And with the world watching, senators unload.
This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics.
And I don't know how any of my Republican colleagues could, after hearing her tell her story, could not only not believe her, but could possibly vote for Brett Kavanaugh.
This morning, the country bitterly divided, key lawmakers torn.
There's no way you can leave that hearing room certain.
The choice that will affect a generation. Today, Friday, September 28, 2018.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us on an important Friday morning. Craig in for Hoda, and every once in a while you realize you're watching history unfold.
It was hard to watch at times yesterday, hard to listen to, and you've got two lives here, Judge Kavanaugh and Professor Ford's, lives that are going to be forever altered by yesterday.
And to say nothing of the fact that it's the Supreme Court at stake here. It was one of the most extraordinary days Washington and the nation has ever seen. Nearly 9 hours of emotional testimony, and as mentioned, 2 lives laid bare with the country watching.
I've had to relive this trauma in front of the world, and I've seen my life picked apart by people on television, on Twitter, other social media, other media, and in this body who have never met me or spoken with me.
But your coordinated and well-funded effort to destroy my good name and destroy my family will not drive me out. The vile threats of violence against my family will not drive me out.
So where does it all go from here? We're going to take you quickly through next steps. This morning, the Senate Judiciary Committee will meet and will vote on Brett Kavanaugh's nomination.
From there, his nomination will head to the full Senate, where the first procedural vote is expected tomorrow. And following some motions and debate, the final confirmation vote is likely next Tuesday.
In a moment, we're going to hear from both sides. We talked to one of the senators on the panel and one of the nominees' very close friends. And we have in-depth coverage across Washington and across the nation. Let's start with NBC's Casey Hunt. She's on Capitol Hill, where the action is. Casey, good morning.
Savannah, good morning to you. It was an absolute roller coaster of a day yesterday. And when I left the Capitol late last night, Republican leaders were saying they were optimistic that they can get Kavanaugh confirmed. But that is far right now from guaranteed.
This morning, Judge Brett Kavanaugh heading for a high-stakes vote in the Senate Judiciary Committee.
We gave Dr. Ford a chance to have her say, and I think it's time to vote.
After an extraordinary and emotional day of testimony, Republicans met late into the night, trying to decide whether to push forward to a vote in the full Senate.
I just didn't feel like that the allegations were corroborated.
Long undecided Republican Senator Corker later announcing he'll vote yes on Kavanaugh, leaving all eyes still on key swing senators Jeff Flake, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins. Those 2 women under particular pressure after the country heard from Dr. Ford.
What do you say to Senators Murkowski and Collins who are trying to decide what to do?
Just that I hope they listen to Dr. Blasey Ford's testimony, hear her with their hearts, and that this is a moment that takes extraordinary courage from them and from any survivor who stands up and tells their story.
Collins and Murkowski are among the very few undecided after a combative and partisan hearing that saw both sides dig in.
The FBI should have investigated your charges as they did in the Anita Hill hearing, but they did not.
Republican Lindsey Graham delivering the hearing's most heated moment, erupting at Democrats.
What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics.
The South Carolina senator still letting loose on Democrats later in the night on Fox News.
To my friends on the other side, I would never have done this to one of your nominees. You should be ashamed.
Democrats defending Dr. Ford and their own handling of her originally anonymous letter.
I did not leak her story. She asked me to hold it confidential, and I kept it confidential.
When the committee reconvenes just hours from now with 11 Republicans and 10 Democrats, committee member Jeff Flake's vote could make all the difference. The Arizona senator visibly torn.
He's right, she's wrong. She's right, he's wrong. I mean, you're never certain. You just do the best you can.
So while Flake is going to be in the spotlight this morning, let's talk a little bit about how this full Senate vote might play out. A reminder, control of the Senate so tight, 51 Republicans, 49 Democrats. Mitch McConnell can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes. So that's why all eyes are going to be on Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Jeff Flake. And you should also keep an eye on Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. He's a Democrat who is up for re-election, and he has been privately sending mixed signals about how he wants to vote on Kavanaugh. Savannah, Craig.
Real suspense on Capitol Hill today. Casey, thank you.
Thursday's hearing will be talked about and debated by everyone who was in that Senate room, the tens of millions watching all over this country, both sides digging in after the days-long emotional testimony. NBC's national correspondent Peter Alexander is also on Capitol Hill for us. Peter, good morning.
Greg, good morning to you. Some new developments from overnight. White House officials telling us that President Trump was working the phones overnight, speaking to senators, trying to make sure he had the votes for his Supreme Court pick, Brett Kavanaugh. It came at the end of an emotionally draining day that was a powerful and raw she said, he said.